afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about palm weaving and the importance of palm weaving in the Coptic Orthodox Church. But palm weaving is not only in the Coptic Orthodox Church, it's in many other Oriental and Catholic churches. It's been a very ancient practice, and basically it's just a reminder of when Jesus Christ entered Jerusalem, and when the people met him, they met him with putting garments as well as, of course, the palms. So the art of palm weaving has been practiced in different countries differently, and in Egypt there's lots and lots of different designs. Most of you would know about making the cross, which Abuna holds during the Mass, the liturgy of Palm Sunday, and from Vespers on Saturday evening. So the palms need to be ready for the church from Saturday evening, not from Sunday morning, including the cross. So we make the little crosses, and then we make the big crosses, and I think you can see one here behind me. And the big crosses are put at the front of the altar throughout the Mass, again from Vespers right through till the next morning throughout the Mass. The palms are not what gets blessed with the waters. The blessing is that they spend time in the church. And today what we'll be doing is we'll be teaching you how to make the crosses, the big and the large crosses, and we'll also be teaching you to make the donkeys. And we'll be teaching you to braid the big palms like the one just behind me over there. So we've got a few things to learn today, all right? So when we're going to make the pieces for the big crosses, we usually start with the biggest palm pieces we can get. So if you can choose the biggest one in thickness, and the biggest one in the thickness as far as it goes up, because when we weave it, we want both sides of the palm, as you can see, this side and this side, to be the same. And if this is thick and then thin, then this side will be big and this side will be small, okay? So the idea is to get it at the thickness as long as possible, okay? So now all the palms usually come in two pieces, so sister and brother sort of thing. So you usually use the two together to make the one piece, okay? So when we start, we just cut the bottom first, like this. And we cut the edge a little bit like this, because it's going to be too hard for us to thread later. And then we split the palm. So we've got now two pieces from the one piece of palm, yeah? And then we take the two thick bits, one behind the other, this way, one behind the other. So, actually it should be that way. So the long piece out the long way, and the short and the side piece towards your left. And if you're left-handed, the opposite if it's easier for you. And then basically we push one side in, and we push it right up till the edge, as far as we can, of the piece behind it. Okay, so it's nice and sturdy. And then that piece goes to the other side. And then the top piece needs to cover to the end of this piece here. Okay, so it goes down. And then the bottom bit automatically then goes up. And then we take this and we put it in the back slot. So the top bit goes in the back slot, yeah, and we pull it down. Yeah, and we keep holding it firmly, yeah, because you need, when you fold it, to fold it tightly so it holds on. And then when you pull it until it's nice and tight, okay? Now, if you notice, the one that I've looped around is now shorter a little bit. It doesn't matter whether you cut this off or whether you cut this off. It doesn't matter. But usually, the one that you haven't turned over is going to be longer, because this one's flipped over. Okay. But this is also how we make the donkey. So from this we start everything. From this we start the cross, from this we start the donkey. Okay? I'm going to show you the cross first and then I'll show you the donkey. Okay, so the cross, I'm going to cut one of these. Okay, as close to it as I can. So I've only got one. And I want to make 4 of these. Okay, I want to make 4 of these. What we just made, I want to make 4. And I can use this again because it's still thick. And because it's thick, it'll give me a width for my next one. Okay, so I want to make 4. So I'm just going to keep making some more so I can show you some samples of different things while you practice what you're practicing. If you always also notice, if they're hard, they will split while you're working. Okay, and that's why we need them as fresh as possible. And you'll also notice if your palm is a little bit narrow here and then thick, when you come to fold it in, it'll break. Okay, so you need to make sure that the thickness is similar. Okay, so now I'm starting to make the bits, prepare the bits to show you how to make the donkey. Just the basic, but instead of cutting, because you cut one of these, instead of cutting, we're not going to cut any. So it stays like that. Okay, so when you make it, keep it as it is. Yeah, you just make it and you don't cut, right? And you can make it as thin or as thick as you like, because the thickness will depend on the size of the donkey. Okay, so if it's a thick piece, then your donkey is going to be a bit bigger, and if it's a thin piece, your donkey is likely to be a little bit smaller. So I'll make the thick piece because it might be easier for you to see while I'm doing it. Okay, so once we've done that, we split this into no less than 5. Okay, even if it's thin, 5 is workable. Less than 5, you won't be able to do it. So at least 5 or 6 or more. Okay? So this one I'm going to split into 6 and try and make the pieces as equal as you can. And you do need your nail for this, so you can split the pieces.
Yeah. Alright, let's do it.
Okay. And it doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong, it's just as equal as you can. And you do the same for both sides, so split this into 5 or 6 and split this into 5 or 6. Okay? So I've done 6, so I've got to do another 6 on this side. And if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter, you can do another one, but this one is a practice run anyway for you. But that's it, 6 and 6 I have, and you can have 5 and 5, you can have whatever you want, okay? Now, you take the very first one on your right, and you just hold it with your fingers like that. Okay, and why? Because I want to use this hand to work with. I don't want this to be in my way because I'm not going to do anything with it. Okay, this is actually my tail. The tail of my donkey. That's what it's going to be. All right? And then I start with the next and I weave down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. And notice I started with down first, so I went under the first one. So there's my tail. Okay, and then I weave the next one. Down and up, down and up, down and up. Okay, so there's my bits. I take the very first one and I hold it like this out of the way. Okay? And then I take the next one and I go under and over and under and over, all the way to the last one. Okay?
Do you fold it?
Yes, I fold
So
it.
it'd be like folded.
I fold it down. I fold it down and bring it behind.
Then under.
Yep, okay? And then, are you right?
Did you go under first?
Yeah, you go under the one next to it. Okay,
Gotcha.
under the one next to it. And then again, I go under, because I want to go over the one behind. I go under, and then under and over again. Then I'm going to take this and turn it around. Okay, and I'm holding it. I don't want it to loosen up. Holding it here. Okay, and I'm going to take the first one under and over and go all the way until I have two left. So see how it's holding those legs in place now? It's holding the legs in place. So we've done the tail, the two back legs, we're doing the two front legs. So we weave until we finish all of them and there's only two left. And then there's the two, so there's the tail, the two back legs, the two front legs, and now we're going to go round, turn it around this way. Okay, and now we're going to do the neck. Okay, so again, I've got the two legs sitting there like that, and I'm going to start weaving behind and front. Yep.
Yes, that was that one.
Okay, and when I pull it, it puts it really well in place. And I keep working all the way until I've got one left, not two this time. Because this is the neck, so we want the neck to be leave one or two, it's up to you which you'd like, but I've left two because it gives me something to hold on to. This time I'm going to work from where this is, okay, from where this little thing is, and I'm going to work up towards these two, yep, okay, because this is the back of the head that I'm doing now.
This way?
No, this way,
This way.
up,
Right.
yep, all the way up. Okay, so you weave behind, up and down. We're going to leave them because they're our ears. So now we've got the tail, the two bottom legs, the back legs, the two front legs, and we've got our ears. What's left to do is the snout and the mouth. Okay? So we're going to turn it this way with the ears down, and you're going to start weaving that way until you've got two left. So there we go.
It's kind of like building the neck up.
Yeah, building the top of the head. So we've done the ears, okay, and he's got a really long neck because I did lots and lots of pieces. So now I'm going to go this way. So I've got everything, the tail, the back legs, the front legs and the ears, and I'm going to work twice, once that way and once that way, okay, because that is more than enough for the snout. And if it looks enough, don't do more. Like, you know, yeah, don't do more. I've stopped now because that snout is enough for me. If you can see, that's enough. I don't need more. His neck is very long because of the pieces that I've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, but be very careful not to pull too tight. And I'm actually going to tie all the ends together. Watch me. Okay, now I want to firmly do it, but I don't want it to break. So I've tied it, and if there's anything coming out, I just pull at it to fix it. Okay, and I just tie it one more time. And that's the mouth, and he's got some hay eating. He's eating some hay, so I'm just going to snip a bit of that and a bit of that, and he's eating some hay there. And then I'm going to snip off, those are too long, and his little tail is there, and then his legs about that much, and the same on the other side, that much, maybe a bit more. And then you can actually shorten the legs if you want, but if you open them like this, the donkey will stand, but this one's a bit heavy. So, because he's a bit heavy and those are a little bit thin, I'm just going to shorten his legs a bit, because then he will stand.